The civil flag of the United States of America, a symbol that once stood for the founding concepts of this country. These concepts define the Declaration of Independence are that every man has a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, namely the rights to own property and contract with it freely. The Declaration of Independence also defined the purpose of government, to protect these rights by gaining power through the consent of the governed. These rights were to be secured to each man born in the United States. The Constitution, in the preamble, it states that in order to secure the blessings of liberty, the Constitution has been established for the people of the United States of America. The Constitution being a document limiting the powers of government. But what exactly is liberty? The most fundamental concept of liberty is the concept of self-ownership. You own your life. This concept means that your life, liberty, and path to happiness are yours and yours alone. No other person may tell you how to live your life, infringe upon your liberty, nor dictate to you what your path to happiness may be. Nor can you choose this path for another. The United States Code makes it a federal crime to deprive another of their unalienable rights of life, liberty, property, contract, or any other right or privilege outlined in the Constitution of the United States. In order to better define liberty, so as not to inadvertently infringe upon the rights of another, we use basic definitions to define what it is that each person has by relating it to their time on Earth. To lose your life is to lose your future. To lose your liberty, to be imprisoned, is to lose your present. To lose the product of your life and liberty, you have lost the past that you used to produce it. The product of your life, the time in your past, and your liberty is your property, or the fruit of your labor. This is an accumulation of your time, energy, and talents that you have used in the past to create what you have in the present. The only way property may be exchanged is through mutual consent. Any other manner is theft from the other party, through either an unacceptable contract or by taking the property of another without their knowledge. If an exchange of property is not mutually agreed upon, it will not take place, as one of the parties would rightly refuse this exchange. Anytime there is an initiation of force or fraud, it is a crime. To initiate force and take life is murder. To take liberty is enslavement. And to take property is theft. It does not matter if this is an act of an individual, the act of a group, or even the act of elected officials acting in the benefit of society. The United States Code makes it a federal crime for police or a government agent to deprive anyone of their unalienable or protected rights or privileges outlined in the Constitution using color of the law. Basically, any law that would violate these rights or act in a manner contrary to respecting the rights of the citizens. It is also a federal crime for multiple persons or agencies to conspire against the rights of an individual. Even though you have no right to initiate force against anyone or any group, you do have the right to defend yourself should another person, group, or government agency attempt to deprive you of your life, liberty, or property. You also have the right to ask others to help defend you against this unlawful initiation of force. You do not have the right to ask another person, group, elected official, or police officer to initiate force against another person or group on your behalf. The Second Amendment of the Constitution prohibits any law infringing our rights to bear arms. This amendment was written to ensure that people would always be protected from the initiation of force by the state. You have the right to seek leaders for yourself, but you have no right to impose rulers onto others. Looking at our initiation of force in Iraq, depriving the people of their rightful leader, no matter what our personal beliefs about their leader may have been, and forcing them to accept leaders we have chosen them to pick from, violates the basic concepts of liberty. Liberty cannot be spread by force or imposed upon others, as this is the opposite of giving them liberty. No official can be granted any right that you do not have yourself. Any official is still a human being and is incapable of accepting any authority that will give them claims to another's life, liberty, or property. It does not matter how they come into power, what their title is, or how many people support them. Any act against another person or group's life, liberty, or property is still murder, enslavement, and theft. The drug laws are the perfect example of laws that are colored, that are invalid, as these laws prohibit the ownership of property and violate a right to contract. These laws have slowly increased the powers of the police to violate our other rights of privacy, further property right infringements through seizures, where the state keeps the property even if there are no charges pressed against the person the property was stolen from. As the Constitution protects our liberty, and making it illegal to own property is in conflict with the Constitution, these laws are invalid. Any enforcement of these laws is punishable under U.S. Code Title 18, Chapter 13, Sections 241 and 242. Since you own your life, you're responsible for what you do with your life. You're not required to do any job, except pay for your life, time, and efforts if you do not want to do that job. You're always free to go elsewhere and seek employment. You're also free from the chains of enslavement, cannot be forced to do anything against your will. Following orders does not give you the right to violate the liberties of another person, as was determined at the Nuremberg Nazi trials. This is not an adequate defense. You alone are responsible for your actions in choosing your own goals and values. Only by succeeding and failing in your pursuit of happiness can you learn and grow. For the state, through any law or statute to deprive someone of their unalienable rights of liberty and pursuit of happiness by limiting their choices is in direct violation of the concepts of liberty, and as liberty is a protected right under the Constitution, these statutes and laws are invalid. As virtue can only exist where there is freedom of choice, a society is only virtuous when it does not inhibit the freedom to choose one's goals and values. A society cannot be free without granting the individual the freedom to choose for himself. As you have seen so far, any time that there is an initiation of force, there is a crime being committed. You have also seen that it does not matter who or what is initiating this force, be it one person or the government of a nation. The problems of the world do have a simple solution. People need to simply stop asking their government officials to initiate force and commit crimes on their behalf. It does not require evil people to create evil rulers. Good people who tolerate the initiation of force by their leaders begin to accept this initiation of force as commonplace and create the evil rulers themselves. As Americans, we are all guilty of allowing President Bush to unlawfully initiate force against other sovereign nations. Only by having confidence in and implementing a free market, without governmental oversight and regulation within its own borders, where supply and demand will determine something's value, will society become free. Failing to do so only leads to chaos, disorder, civil disobedience, and violates the rights of the people by attempting to impose some vision or goal upon them by using governmental force. Once the idea that the government can think for its citizens is established, liberty has become extinct. If we wish to regain our nation, to realize the Founding Fathers' dreams of giving us a free society, we need to start thinking for ourselves, speaking out against unlawful governmental initiation of force, and act to stop the government from committing any more crimes. Stop empowering the illegal government we have created by complacently doing nothing.